everyone, Diana Rankin here with your psychic soul messages and a prediction or two. And I do want to give you a couple of those for this coming week. The week is September 2nd to the 8th. I always have to think about those dates, but it's September 2nd to the 8th, I believe. You know, we have been in such strange energies. Excuse me, I think I just walked into a spider web as I walked over here to sit down. Lots of spider webs out this time of the year where I am. But I want to tell you that it is so important that we really listen to that gut instinct, that intuition. We all have it. It is developed in some of us more than others, and you can develop it. But you've heard me say things are going to get a little more out of hand. They're going to get a little more erratic, a little more difficult. And you probably did see Daisy walking by here. She's always out here with me when she can be. And you might see one of our little wild kitties, Joey, who is now a mommy of 3 kittens. And as soon as they're old enough, and she's old enough, everybody's going to go to the vet. Didn't catch it this time around, but she's friendlier now. And pretty much they're all living on the front porch. So she tends, when she hears my voice, though, when she knows Daisy's out here, she tends to come wandering. So you might see a little miniature panther wandering around here too. But I want to tell you, before, you know, I prefer working one-on-one with clients rather than make big, massive predictions. But these massive predictions I'm going to make today are affecting all of us. And one of the things that I want to stress is how important it is to develop that intuition. One of the workshops that I offer is this one here, Awakening to Your Deeper Intuition, and it's coming up November the 2nd, the first weekend of November. It will be held at a hotel in Springfield, Ohio. To get a brochure or to get more information, just go to my website. I do limit this class to 12 to 18 participants. So if you're interested, by the way, go ahead. You'll save $50 if you get signed up before, I think it's the 20th of this month. So if I've got your registration, your paid for registration before the 20th, you get to save some money. If not, you can still register if there's room. And I do interview people to be in the course, unless I know you and familiar with you. So do expect a little conversation with me. So mainly what I need is to know why you think the course is important for you and your phone number so we can talk. But it is Awakening to Your Deeper Intuition. I hope to see some of you there. That said, I can't stress strongly enough how important it is to develop that intuition, whether you work with me individually in a workshop or you work with others, somebody else. Please, now's the time to refine it, because we are really, we're not out of this turmoil. In fact, we're moving into it deeper. Between now and the midterm elections in the states, it's going to be really, really tough. And this coming week, I fully expect a couple of indictments to come down, and one has a Trump name on it. Not the president, not the old man, the junior. You've heard me say I don't think any Trumps will end up in prison, because I think a deal will be made to keep them out of prison. I do think Jared will be the sacrificial lamb of the family. So I fully expect him to end up in prison. You've heard me say that before. This week, I think there's an indictment. I don't know that it's coming from the federal government, or I don't know that it's coming out of Mueller's investigation. I think it's coming more out of New York. Something's going on in New York, and I think that may be where the indictment comes out of. Do expect more erratic behavior from the president. Do expect more indictments, and sometimes before indictments coming down, witnesses who are important and in the know are going to turn. So we're going to have just, gosh, a bunch of what we've expected, but we're never prepared for it. Now, that said, most people who are Trumpers, who really follow, who are really the base of Trump, don't follow me. I do get some. And if you're listening, I want to say to you, please read multiple news reports. I want to say that really to everybody. But I want to say, go beyond what you're listening to on a right wing, on Fox radio, not radio, but TV. Go beyond that. You know, here in America, we tend to be, I don't know if it's out of arrogance or ignorance, but we tend to be ignorant of what is going on in the rest of the world. Now, not everybody by any means, but as Americans, we just don't pay attention to what is going on in the rest of the world. We tend to have less knowledge of that than people in other parts of the world have of us, and what's going on in the U.S. And what's going on in the U.S. is of importance to people around the world because, in part, we are so big. But there's a lot of misinformation out there on both sides. In fact, on my Facebook Messenger recently, someone wrote me with all this information about how Congress is doing this, and this, and how they're getting all this money. Well, yeah, Congress is doing a lot that I don't approve of, that it certainly isn't for the good of the country, in my opinion. But this was full of a lot of falsehoods, including the children of Congress never pay, the children and the spouses, I think, of Congress never pay college tuition, and if they do take out loans, they never pay them back. I'm sorry, that's nonsense. But there was a part of me, because there was some truth in this message, and there was a part of me that said, well, did I miss something? Because it was talking about the states convening a convention in order to change the Constitution. Well, I had read about this before, and some states have already signed on, but it was to increase states' rights and take away federal rights. Well, there are times that's good, but however, this was coming from the far right, which was wanting to take away things like Medicare, Social Security, Medicaid, and social programs that help people who need help. So I wrote back to this person and I said, please fact check, please do your research, because there's information in here that is not correct. Well, you know, I was raised in a family that said, if you can't say something nice about someone, don't say it. I believe that so far. I think we have to keep ourselves informed, and some of the things that we have to point out are not necessarily nice. But we don't have to come back the way this person came back with me, or some of the lack of civility that I do get in the comments, which, by the way, the lack of civility in the comments and the lack of respect, those are rare. But this person came back with the favorite cuss word of the day, which starts with an F, which I won't say, and then the word you. You know, like, that's really going to make me want to listen to you. There's such a lack of civility. There's such a lack of respect for one another. So those of you who are commenting here or on other social media accounts, or those of you who are going out into the world with respect for all other human beings, I thank you. I thank you. And I want to say our current president is, I don't know how people are raising children and saying, don't speak like our current president. Don't be petty. Don't be so angry. Put it on our own shoulders. If we've made an error, let's own it. Let's not put it on the shoulders of someone else who doesn't deserve it. Let's be civil. Over the next several weeks, we're going to have many, many opportunities to not be civil. And I'm going to ask you, please be civil, be respectful, be love in action, because that's what this is all about. With the indictments that are coming, with the news that's going to be coming out in this week, next week, and continuing, it's going to be explosive. And the Trump base, the president has told the Trump base in not so many words. He hasn't said take up arms, but he has said take up words, not in those words. It's very divisive of the country, and many people, not all, but many, many people who are part of the president's base are very much for the Second Amendment, claiming that if we don't want you to carry guns on the street, we are against the Second Amendment. It's going to get crazy, folks. And we're already seeing the signs of that. So I want to say, use your intuition, stay safe, create that world of love around you and your family. And for those of you who say intuition doesn't stop bullets, you know what? You're right. If you're pointing a gun at me and you're going to shoot it, my intuition isn't necessarily going to stop that bullet. But you know what my intuition will do? It will keep me away from being where you are. So friends, be loving, be respectful, be civil. We're going to really need it this week. Daisy and I love each and every one of you. I'm not sure where she went. I love you. I thank you for the acts of love that you put out in the world. They are so important. Take care of yourselves. We're moving into some very tumultuous times. Take care of yourself. Take care of each other. We are all our sister and brother's keeper. And if you would like to know more about the awakening, please go to my website. The link is below, and click on seminars and workshops, and then click on the awakening, and I hope to see some of you there. If you care for a private reading, go to the same website and you'll find my phone number, which you can also call me about the workshop. You'll also find all the information that you need. Hang on. We are going to get through this, and we're all going to get through it together. Just going to have a rough time of it. Don't let the roughness interfere with your life, and don't partake of it. Don't be a part of it. Be a part of creating love. I love you, my friends. Daisy loves you, wherever she is. Until next week, thank you.